listen to KCAA.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC. $60 billion. That's how much profit the nation's banks raked in just 3 months during this spring's second quarter. Remember that next time your bank charges you a fee for an overdrawn check. Another rough day today on Wall Street. Investors spooked by billions more in tariffs put into effect today by both the U.S. and China in the growing trade war. The Dow down 76, the Nasdaq down 10. Home builder stocks ended lower. That's after new home sales fell again in July. Sales in the Northeast were half what they were in June. Kroger, the nation's largest grocery store owner, will be phasing out plastic bags over the next 7 years. You can still get a recyclable paper bag or bring your own reusable shopping bags. And tonight at midnight, Apple CEO Tim Cook will be awarded another 500,000 Apple shares for hitting certain financial targets. Cook says he'll give most of that $120 million bonus to charity. CNBC.
It's the little things. Like finding $20 in the wash. Woo! Jackpot! Or knowing where to shop online for all the newest styles and best deals around. Stage.com, of course. Visit Stage.com today for incredible sales, our newest markdowns on clearance, more extended sizes, and even more choices. Plus, check out today's deals online for daily coupons and offers. Fresh styles, big savings, and fun perks every day. Stage.com. Little things mean everything. Offer exclusions apply.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
There's a common thread I see every time I'm in the field.
While this was burning, you were saving other homes.
Neighbors helping neighbors, and strangers alike.
No official first responders here, just volunteers going in and bringing folks out.
This is what America's about.
Sometimes it's nice to see all the good that's out there.
We have seen it in community after community after community.
Watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, evenings on NBC.
Re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th because Sheriff Sniff will keep us safe. The FBI reports that violent crime decreased dramatically in Riverside County in 2017. That proves the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, led by Sheriff Stan Sniff, is doing its job. Vote for experience, honesty, and integrity. Vote for the sheriff who keeps us safe. Vote to re-elect Riverside County Sheriff Stan Sniff on November 6th. Paid for by Friends of Stan Sniff.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. FEMA says Hurricane Lane is still a very dangerous storm as emergency officials urge everyone in Hawaii to heed all warnings. American Red Cross spokesman Brad Kieserman says they've already opened 16 evacuation shelters.
We expect another 19 centers to be open today. Folks who are going to go to those centers are encouraged to bring supplies, bedding supplies, health supplies.
California Republican Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife are pleading not guilty to federal charges. The two are accused of using campaign funds for personal expenses, including vacations, dental bills, and theater tickets. Federal prosecutors are granting National Enquirer publisher David Pecker immunity for providing information about Michael Cohen and President Trump on hush money payments made to women during the 2016 presidential campaign. The immunity deal means the longtime Trump friend won't face any criminal charges, but he can be called to testify about what he knows in the case. Wall Street, the Dow slid 77 points today. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
If you or a loved one was seriously injured in an accident with a semi-truck or an 18-wheeler truck, you need to act fast. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454. Truck accident cases are different than an auto versus auto accident. There are so many more issues involved when dealing with a truck accident case. There are federal regulations and state regulations, several different companies that may be involved. I can immediately gather the evidence, get you the medical care you need with no deductible and no copay to you, and get you the compensation and the money you deserve for your injuries. And if there's no recovery, there's no fees charged to you. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454.
Do you want exposure for your business or organization? Check out Digital Network Advertising. Digital Network Advertising is where businesses display your ad inside their building. You can choose your marketing sites or jump on the DNA system and advertise with all participants. Your slide holds the virtual billboard for 14 seconds and is displayed 3 times an hour. It's a novel way to be seen, be discovered, and to be remembered. Digital Network Advertising with networks in Redlands and Yucaipa. Call 909-222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Well, hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip-Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip-Flop Investor himself, coming to you every single week. You know what we do here? We get together every single week, and we talk about real estate investing. Yeah, right here in the Inland Empire. We talk about it every single week. Last week we did a amazing live call-in show where people called in and sent me some text questions, and we had a good time talking about all kinds of good stuff in real estate. But what we like to do usually is get together with a local investor, talk to them about what they do in real estate, and find out how they got into this business, why they got into the business. And today we have a repeat guest, which, you know, a lot of people that if you tune in frequently, you'll find out we have a lot of repeat guests because, you know, I got a really small sphere of groups of people around here that are willing to share their deepest, darkest secrets in real estate investing. And today we have a very special guest, Thomas Chappelle. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to see that. Good to hear you. Thomas, refresh our memories for all the people that haven't heard or, you know, forgot all about it. What is it that you do in real estate?
What I do in real estate is I am an investor. I find properties that that I can buy at a reasonable price, rehab them, and then put them back on the market to resell.
Okay, so some people call that wholesaling.
Wholesaling, flipping, whatever.
and you know, and we were talking about it today because wholesaling is like it's like the gateway drug into real estate investing, right? Like
exactly.
Like most people, like when they come to the real estate club that we do every month, they're always saying, "I want to be a wholesaler." It's the first thing that most people come into real estate with is that, you know, this wholesaling concept.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to be a wholesaler?
Well, I started off basically, like I said, Dr. Jerry Buss, who
Dr. Jerry Buss?
Yes.
So this is a bus that would drive you around, right?
No, he actually is the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Really?
And
okay.
I'm a big Laker fan. So I saw his documentary, how he ended up buying the Lakers. And I said, I wanted to do that. But I really didn't know how to get into it. So years passed on by, and I just let it go. And then one time when I was living in Las Vegas, I heard of fortune builders.
Okay.
And I've heard them time and time again. I'm like, oh, they full of crap. I'm not going to get involved with that. But one day I said, you know what? What the heck? See what they all about.
Yeah.
So I went to their supposedly 2-hour free seminar, which was only an hour. But they gave you that extra time to sign up for their 3-day seminar. So it was a $200 investment. So I said, okay, I can afford that. So I went on to that.
So you did the 1 hour free thing.
Right.
And then you signed up for the 2 hour, which is like what it's like a 2-day thing.
No, it was a 3-day thing.
A 3-day thing.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice. Yeah. And that's the one that's Than Merrill, right?
Right. Exactly.
Fortune builders. Yeah. They're I think they're out of San Diego, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
And the funny part about it was that Dan, I don't understand, but he tried to do a lot of things and he failed at it, but his name is the brand.
Right.
You know, so I went, and Saturday the morning they would think fine, but when you got back from break Saturday evening, that's when the boom dropped. And they were saying, okay, well, to get into our mastery program was $25,000. So I didn't turn around and join it because I'm like, I had the 25, but why am I going to give them $25,000
right
to help me learn this business? So I did a lot of trial and error, got in touch with a lot of people. Then I ended up moving here to California and parked in Riverside. And what I ended up doing was Googling investors, and 2 names came up. And one I don't remember, which I never was supposed to remember, but the other one was the Norris Group.
Okay.
And I never knew who the Norris Group was, knew who Bruce Norris was or anything like that. So I contacted the receptionist. She turned around and I said, well, who can I speak to regarding investing? She gave me Aaron Norris. Didn't even know who he was. So true story is Aaron listened to me for 45 minutes and I rambled on and on and on and on. Never cut me off, never said anything negative. He says, look, I don't have a ministry program, but I know a guy I can turn you on to. His name was Nick Manfredi.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick had a small intimate club that he used to do every quarter. And the first one was going to be on April 29th.
Okay.
But that one got canceled.
Right.
So the last one he had was in July, and that's the one that Bruce spoke at, and that's where I met you guys.
Right.
At,
yeah, he'd been doing that meeting for like 9 years prior to that too.
Right.
Yeah, so he'd been doing it a while.
So then he turned around and had an intimate monthly club that he was charging $100, and I was like, at that time I was robbing Peter to pay Paul to go. Mm-hmm. And a lot of stuff was going over my head, but I was consistent going, because I said something's going to gravitate to me. So finally, when I decided I can't do it anymore, a couple of members said, go to Meetup. So go to Meetup. Found a lot of investment clubs there, but because I was strapped for finances, then I ended up parking at you guys' club. Didn't even know who you guys were at the time. Parked at your club because you was in my backyard.
Right.
So I had no problem going. And from there, it blossomed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, because I remember that first meeting you came to at our club, because we did it at another room at the Mission Inn that particular month. That one with the really low ceilings. I remember, because Kendall was our guest that month.
He was, actually.
And I remember you standing out, and like a lot of times the people that are going to be successful in this business have stood out to me at some point, and you stood out right from the get-go to me. I'm like this is a guy who's going to actually do something in this business.
I appreciate that.
Well, and it's happened, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn like I'm the, like I'm the kingmaker of wholesalers or anything like that. But you just had you had the right attitude, the right mentality going into it, and I think you knew this was not a get rich quick thing, which a lot of wholesalers come in thinking, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to put together a deal tomorrow, and by next week I'm going to have $10,000 sitting in my checking account.
Yeah, and I did at one point think that way, but I got schooled that this is not how it happens. The more deals you put together, that's when you start to make the money.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it in one deal. And the thing was, you guys were upper echelon to me.
Okay.
And I was actually scared to connect with you guys because everybody's like, well, you was a rehab loan group and you guys are expensive, blah, blah, blah. They don't have time to talk to anybody. So I was actually scared. But once I started getting to know you guys, kept coming to the club and got to get to know you guys, it made things easy. But you guys didn't make it easy for me because you guys gave me hell.
I guess you could say we're a little protective of our time.
Yeah. I mean, they gave me a lot of tasks to do, and they basically thought that I wasn't going to do it. I was going to be just like the average Joe and say, hey, I want to do this, but not really take initiative and start doing the things that you tell us to do and things of that nature. Say, oh, he's never going to come back. So, okay, we give him this stuff, but fortunately, I kept coming back.
Yeah.
So I was like the fly that would never go away.
Right.
So finally you guys said, okay, we got to finally do something with this guy because he's not going. He's really serious.
Right.
And it blossomed from there.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, and maybe you could probably respect our position too, is that we've dealt with a lot of people that say they're going to do all this stuff. They're heading for greatness. They make it sound like this is going to be their life-changing opportunity in their world, whatever. I don't know. And they just don't do anything.
Exactly.
We say, okay, go do this. And maybe it's something as simple as saying, okay, go get some deals and then come back. Like that's something that we would commonly say. It's sort of a brush off, and I know that might sound rude, but like go get some deals and come see us about them. Once you have something to talk about, let's talk about your deal. Because I can't really conceptualize for somebody how to do the next thing. It's like there's a lot of ways to find deals. And some of those ways are not going to work for that person. Some are.
And, the one thing I did learn is that we use a lot of cliches, like the Nike slogan. What is it? Just do it.
Right.
Okay. But the fact is that because we're very insecure creatures, that when we go to an element outside of our scope or outside of our box, we don't know what we're doing. It's the old saying is fake it till you make it, until you realize, okay, somebody's really testing me on this.
Yeah.
Can I really, truly do what I'm saying I'm about to do? And the only thing you can do is either try or not. And I'd rather try failing versus try failing and not trying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. But that's an entrepreneurial trait.
Exactly.
You know, like people with that entrepreneurial mindset, that's what they're going to do. They're just going to do it and not be worried about failing in the process. And if they do fail, pick themselves right back up again and try again.
Well, see, I don't look at it as failing. What I look at it is an opportunity to learn from what you don't know or what you're afraid of to know.
It's a nice way to put it.
That's just the best way to handle it. It's like, okay, fine. You know that you got so many talents inside of you, but you got to figure out what is going to best bring you out to light. Show your skills. You know what I'm saying? Like I told my son the other day, I said, here's the thing. I use the basketball terminology. Most of your teammates have fouled out. Some of them are hurt. You're the only guy on the bench. You're down by a point, 5 seconds on the clock. Coach got no choice but to bring you in. Which one of you going to show up? The confident guy that's going to make it and become the hero, or the guy that's too scared and blow the game?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I tell them.
And everybody probably in their own minds thinks I'd like to be that hero, right? That's going to go out there and score the game-winning point. But, you know, a lot of people clam up.
Who wouldn't want that?
Situation.
I want the cheerleaders come and cheer me.
Yeah, well, you're a little past high school now. But that's what we need, right? We need some cheerleaders.
Exactly. Yes.
Some cheerleaders to come out and kind of encourage everybody to,
exactly.
Maybe that'll get people off their butts to do something. You know, hey. It worked in high school.
It sure did.
You know? Yeah. The varsity, basketball team, they all had girlfriends.
I was the man back then.
You're still the man, Thomas. Come on now. Yeah. But, I didn't have a girlfriend. I was, treasurer for the French club. I was the drama club president, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the varsity football quarterback or anything like that. So,
I was athletic all the way.
I was athletic to a point, but I was more of a mathlete rather than an athlete.
I like that.
So I charmed people with my wit and wisdom. I'd like to think I still do that, but I probably don't.
You got a little humor there.
A little humor?
Just a little bit.
All right, we'll stick with that. I got a little humor. We're working on it. One day I'm going to take one of those master classes from one of these stand-up comics, and learn how to do it right. Anyway, maybe I should be like a radio broadcaster. I got a good face for it.
Hey, you do very well at it.
Anywho, enough about me. This is about you today. So you basically, you want to show up with that right mentality, and that's your attitude. It's every day, like, what can I do to be that person that I want to be?
Exactly.
And so it's obvious. It was obvious to me then, and that's probably because you'd already been through like 2 years worth of, learning
trial and error. Yes,
trial and error.
I appreciate that.
But a lot of people come in; it's their first time, and I think they're so pumped, they're so excited, and they have all this energy going into it. It's like a diet or something, or a new exercise regimen. You're pumped, you're ready to do it, but that first workout you push yourself so hard that you tire yourself out and you don't go back the next day.
Yeah, the flames die.
Yep. So, I think that's the hard thing we deal with in the club. Is trying to capture these new people that come in with this energy, and we love the energy because us people that have been doing it for a while, the energy level is not that high. We're just we just kind of cruise. We're just doing our thing. We know how to do it. We just kind of do it. But that energy level, like, I don't get super excited and jump out of my chair when a deal closes and escrow sends a check our way. I mean, it's, I don't really celebrate. Maybe I should. I don't know. But, it's something for us. We like the energy of the new people, but trying to tone them down and get them to a realistic mentality where we start getting them to think clearly and say, what's the logical next step? What should you be doing right now? Like, okay, you've got a business card, maybe you went through one of these Fortune Builders programs or something, and they've got you an LLC, you've got your business cards, you've got your name picked out for your company, all this good stuff, and, now what? Exactly. Now you got to find deals, and that's the part that most people get stuck at, and that's where they just flame out.
Well, what I found out is that most people, when you go to like Fortune Builders and all these supposed to be gurus, they don't tell you or they don't give you the romantic side of the struggle. They basically say, okay, you can make this much money, so now you focusing on the money part versus understanding how to assess a property to find a deal. What is actually a deal?
Right.
So I can look at a house and say, okay, that to me is a deal, but I don't know all the different nuances about this property. As far as the foundation, the year the property was built, the the electrical, the full plumbing,
Sure.
and things of that nature. So I'm going in a blind thinking that, okay, this is a deal, but they don't teach you this. They don't let you understand that these are the key components in order for you to be successful in finding a deal. So you get lost because now they're looking to get your money and they haven't taught you anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's it. You need that practical, real world, hands-on kind of experience.
Exactly.
So, I guess we can jump right in. I mean, this is what most people want to know is, what do you do on a daily basis that helps bring deals to you?
Well, basically, like I tell people, I come to these real estate investment clubs for 3 reasons. One is to build my database. 2 is that you don't know who you're going to run into because everybody doesn't do this full time. I'm always expecting to receive something. And 3, first and foremost, is to encourage me not to quit. I've been coming to the clubs for 3 years now, go to various different clubs in Southern California. And even though the clubs are pretty much the same, but they got their own little twist. Every organizer that organizes these clubs do things a little differently. So you take bits and pieces from these clubs and you apply to you what fits, and the rest of you throw away. So building my database is finding a lot of agents that can help me to understand, excuse me, what type of deal that I want. Okay, let them know. I can say, give me a discount, but a lot of agents don't understand what a discount means.
Right.
So I have to tell them I need at least $30,000 to $70,000+ in rehab work to put in order for me to put money into your pocket.
Right.
Now you get an understanding, okay, you trying to put money in my pocket versus looking at putting money in your pocket. So if you can find me a deal that I can put at least $30,000 to $70,000 worth of rehab work, that's one aspect. The other aspect is, understanding the difference of looking at the house and saying, okay, the house was built in 1950. Well, if it was built in 1950, then I got an opportunity to put at least $40,000 to $60,000 of rehab work, give or take. Looking at the landscaping, looking at the exterior of the house, the interior of the house, seeing if there's any water bubbles or, cracks in the walls or things of that nature, to where it's not cosmetic, but it needs some serious rehab work to it. Now I understand what I'm doing. So once I get to that point, then I can look at the numbers and say, this is what it's going to take for me to purchase it at a decent price.
Yeah.
So I use all the search engines to help find properties. I have my agents. I got my wholesalers. I go out and knock on the doors and talk to people. I love talking to people. I love the sound of my own voice. Sometimes in the area that I live in, it's predominantly Latino, so they kind of intimidated by a black guy coming knocking on the door.
Sure.
But I do make efforts. And not only that, going to the different clubs, you find a lot of people that might have some extra inventory that they can't handle.
Right.
And they'll swing it your way.
Yeah.
You give them a cut for it.
Of course.
That's what you do.
Right.
So those are all the different ways and the nuances that I use to find properties.
So you pretty much, I know you usually get up, you go to the gym, get your son to school, all that good stuff, right?
Right.
It's typical morning like anybody else would probably have.
Exactly.
And then, but for you, this is a job for you. So you actually set yourself a schedule of this is what I do at this point, and this is what I'm doing from this time to this time. How'd you come up with this schedule?
Well, the thing of it is that you have to choose what's important to you. Like I said, going to the gym is very important to me, because health-wise, even though I haven't changed my eating habits yet, but health-wise, my mind is clear, my body's strong. I can tackle the world better.
Right.
I'm not really stressed out or anything like that. So this thing is a lifestyle for me. And the biggest part of it is it goes with me everywhere. I don't have to necessarily be parked at a desk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could be on the Shades Lounge. As long as I have the internet, I'm good.
Yeah.
I could be in, let's say, Cincinnati, Ohio, where I was for my family reunion.
Yep.
I'm still on the internet looking for property.
Sure.
Assessing property, putting deals together, putting offers in, and things of that nature. Nothing stops me. But it's not, to me, like work. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not stressed by it.
I think that's a big part of it.
Exactly.
It's got to be fun.
And
a lot of people, they do treat it a little bit too much like a
job.
A job.
You're not punching no time clock.
Right.
You have every capability to come and start anytime you get ready.
Yep.
That's it. That's what it is. Sometimes I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, sending offers out, and then get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym.
Dang.
It's a lifestyle.
I don't think I do that.
But when I get engulfed in it, I can't stop.
Right.
It's just like a drug. I'm going, and I'm in a mode that I just can't quit. I got to get all of it done. Then I'm satisfied. But if I do part this, then it's like, okay, you knew you could have did better on that.
Yeah.
Did I really check the numbers out because I was tired? Did I really actually assess? Because if the numbers are not right, you lose the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
You lose the deal.
And then you lose credibility with whoever you sent it to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess you ask yourself, like, did I bring the player that's going to score the game-winning shot, or did I just bring the guy that's going to mope around on the court? And
exactly.
Which guy did I bring to the table?
Exactly.
I mean, I've been there. Like you're kind of crunched. You really want to get this deal out, and you're tired. You're ready for bed. I know I've been in my office at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're above stairs. There's a bar down below, so I hear them all having fun down there, and I'm up there working on something, thinking everybody's having a good time downstairs. I know if you're working on this, I just want to be done and get out of here, And sometimes I'll admit I've half-assed something, and it's not a good thing to do, because then you realize somebody sends it back to you saying, like, what is this?
Exactly.
And you're like, why did I do that? Now it made me look bad.
Exactly.
So yeah, same thing. I totally agree with you there that you got to put your all into it at all times. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. That's the other beauty part about this business, is that if you just don't want to do something, you just flat out say, look, I don't want to do this deal. And you can just turn it away and you don't have to do anything with it.
Exactly.
So, we turn away so many deals. I know you've been a party to that a few times.
Oh yeah, because I had an agent the other day, actually today, she told me that this particular property, they don't want, I had put an offer in at a higher offer. Well, fortunately it came back. So when I rechecked the numbers, the ARV was low. So I had to go based on what the ARV told me.
Right.
I couldn't go back off the original offer because it wasn't going to work. As I'd have told my agent that I'm not going to hold on to get a property that I'm going to have to hold on more than 30 days. I don't want that. I'm losing money.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me. So I told her we can put the offer in, or we can just forget about it, because I'm not going to go higher, because they want the highest and best. And I'm like, if the ARV is telling me that I can't go no higher, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And that's, there's a lot of power in being able to say no to a deal.
Exactly.
Or just being able to say, this is the best I can do. Let other people buy it and make the mistake of, dealing with getting a low return or no return.
But see, the one thing I realized, especially working out with you guys, is that even though that might occur, eventually that listing agent get an opportunity to know who you are, that they'll call you back and say, hey, the property fell out. Are you still interested?
Yeah.
Even though you came in at a lower price.
Yeah. Or the seller that just sold this, they have another house and they're looking to sell it. We want to take a look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it happens. And that's what this business is. It's a relationship business. You have to be able to be good at getting to know people, getting them to like you.
Communication,
and same with sellers. If you're dealing with sellers directly, it's the same thing. You got to get to know them, get them to like you, because they're going to work with who they like.
Exactly.
And, it can be tough at times, and sometimes the hard thing about that is that when somebody rejects you, that they're rejecting you. And sometimes it can be a little painful, that maybe these people just didn't like me, and that's sometimes hard for people to cope with.
Exactly.
But after a while, you get that jaded mentality.
Don't care no more.
Don't care. You just don't. I think did I tell you about the nose job thing?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I told you about that. You got to get a nose job.
Exactly.
A job where you hear nose all day. It helps. It helps you keep your self-esteem on a high level. Because nobody's opinion of you should matter.
Exactly.
It's your self-esteem. It's what you think of yourself. So nobody else should be able to impact that, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I heard that from somebody. Thank you, whoever said that. I appreciate that. We're regurgitating it. So yeah, your day basically consists of doing the normal morning routine like anybody else, and then really you're going to your job from that point forward. But your job can be anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world,
as long as you got internet access.
Exactly.
So I mean that's probably the sexy thing for a lot of people about this business, because there's people I know that are probably on their drive home right now, coming home from their job where they've been sitting at a desk all day and having to deal with some coworker, the drama that goes on in their office, and they're driving home listening to this show right now, thinking, man, that sounds great. I'd love to just be able to do my own morning routine, set my own day, be my own boss, and everything. And I think a lot of people are just confused on how to make that jump.
I don't look at it confused. I look at, like I said, we are very insecure creatures, and the point is that some people are really scared, because I was. My thing is that, one, I'm not a very good reader. I'm not a very good writer, and then also I had child support issues, still do, and I'm a single dad. So my point was, who's going to want to invest into me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at my circumstances, and my circumstances telling me that nobody's going to invest in me, nobody's going to believe in me, so why would you even want to try to do what you're doing? And I stopped listening to that voice, and I went somewhere else. And then come back, you had told me about this movie called The Founder, which is the founder of the franchise of McDonald's. And I looked at the guy, Raymond Kroc, and I seen that this guy was very persistent. Same exact scenario. He was, people was against him, but he's still chugging along. Bruce Norris's story. Bruce Norris's story was, hey, I barely graduated high school. When I got out of high school, I got married. My wife was pregnant, lost every job I ever had, was on welfare and things of that nature. So people can overcome certain circumstances, but they got to believe it within themselves. And if they don't believe it, then they're never going to do it.
Yeah.
Just like you guys took a gamble on me, and I tell you guys all the time that I owe you, but you guys keep telling me, no, you just did the work.
Yeah.
You put in the effort. We didn't do anything. We just pointed you in the direction. You just went forward.
Right.
And did the work, which makes me feel good that I didn't know that I had this inside of me. I always had it, but I didn't know if I could do it, because I didn't have a cheering section. I didn't have anybody speaking into me, so therefore I just felt that I wasn't capable of doing it. And I'm very excited now.
Yeah, I know. It's like you get this empowered feeling, right? Where you, now you know you can do anything.
Exactly.
Which is dangerous in another way, because now you think like, all right, I'm just going to buy $100 million skyscraper tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm unstoppable now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, those deals are tough to do. There's a lot more nuances to those than most people are probably aware of.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it's persistence, and just keep it going every single day like that. And you were saying something, and now I'm blanking, because we started talking about skyscrapers, and that stuff gets me excited now. But you were saying that the I don't know, what were you saying? We were talking about that.
Well, basically, like I said, you have to have a determination, and you have to have a community of people that can just encourage you and speak into you. Because we are worst critics. We doubt everything we do and say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not that we don't believe, it's that we are concerned about how everybody else is going to perceive us. Are they going to like me? Are they not going to like me? And this is not just in real estate. This is everyday life. Coming up as a kid, going through puberty and stuff like that. You want people to like you. You want to be liked. You want to be a part of a group.
Yep.
And you don't know if you actually fit. You don't know if you actually fit the criteria. So now you second guess yourself and say, well, how can I do this when I don't have X, Y, Z? I don't have the kind of PhD or the MBAs or things of that nature.
Right.
I dropped out of school early, or I was, like Patrick Diamond. He's got a very compelling story.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at Patrick now, you wouldn't even believe the things that Patrick would tell you he'd been through in his life.
Oh yeah, it's
you know
amazing.
What I'm saying? So those are the turnaround things that can encourage other people, that let them know, in spite of your circumstances, you can do whatever your heart's desire.
It's and now that you mentioned Patrick, you reminded me what I was going to say to you, because you had mentioned it before about Bruce Norris and about and you just said Patrick, like basically hitting rock bottom. Like,
exactly.
For a lot of people, rock bottom is a very scary concept. Like most people have kind of had a comfortable lifestyle, that they've been living their whole lives, and the thought of losing everything because they're chasing some, crazy idea like this, that's scary. I think a lot of people have a hard time getting off their butt to do something, because that's, the thought of losing everything is most people can't even think of what it would even look like.
Exactly.
What does it look like when you actually have to lose your home, get your cars repossessed, have to go on welfare? You know, like that's a harsh reality for some people to have to deal with. But you know, the strong people like Bruce, like Patrick, like people like that, they've come back. They've bounced back from those scenarios, and now they're doing much, much better.
Well, I think they don't give a damn anymore. Once you get to a point where you get rock bottom, you don't care what people think about it. You fight and crawl your way out of the hole that you was in.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody goes through these different channels in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I challenge people. I say, well, the thing of it is, what does abundant life mean to you? If you had an opportunity, how much money would it take for you to live comfortably? See, those are the questions that nobody never asks anybody.
Sure.
So how can I come up with a dollar amount if no one's never asked me?
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
It's funny because a lot of people just say something like $50,000 a month or something.
Yeah. They'll say, okay, all I need is $10,000 and I'll be fine. No, you won't.
Yeah.
Why sit there and say you will? Because you're going to want more and more things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why limit it yourself? But then you don't want to sound too greedy. So you like, okay, well, where do I find the happy medium? But you can't because you don't really know. You never really sat back and figure this thing out. The questions are there. All you got to do is answer them and just do it.
Yeah. And a lot of people have a hard time because in America, we're a very materialistic society, right?
That's true.
And whenever people talk about wealthy people and success, you know, what do they show off? They're showing off their Ferraris and Lamborghinis and their private jets and, you know, their $1 million mansions on Newport Beach or something like that. Like, that's what people think of as financial success.
Exactly.
But you know, is that really what you want? I asked this of somebody the other day because they said they wanted a red Ferrari. He might even be listening right now. But I asked him, have you ever driven in one? Have you ever been in a Ferrari? Have you ever been in one, Thomas?
No, but I've been in the DeLorean.
Oh, you've been in the DeLorean, man.
Yeah.
That thing's, don't they still sell them like under another company or something?
I think so. But I wanted the same thing, but I said instead of me owning one, I just go go to a track and just drive it around because after that, the thrill is gone.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to tell them. I'm like, first of all, they're not very comfortable to ride in. Secondly, if you have a Ferrari and you're driving around the city in it, the best you're going to get up to is like 50 miles an hour.
Exactly.
You know, and you're going to get frustrated by the fact that you have all this horsepower.
I can't use it.
Exactly. You know, and that's what I've met. Like when I've talked to people that have owned Ferraris, I mean, I've ridden in them before, but it's frustrating. So why not just pay $500 for the day to go drive it at the track?
Exactly.
And be able to push the pedal to the metal and really enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know, because you're not going to have fun. I mean, maybe it'll turn some heads, you know, but is that really worth the price tag? I mean, with the amount of money you're going to spend on a Ferrari, you could buy a pretty decent asset that pays you money each month rather than something like that just costs you money each month. You know, I mean, hey, if you really want a red Ferrari, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. You know, if that has been your lifelong dream, you've always loved it, it's a beautiful car, I mean, hey, go for it. There's nothing wrong with collecting cars, but I don't know. For me, I'm just like, sometimes these goals people have, I'm like, whose goal is that? Is that really your goal? Do you really care about a red Ferrari, you know? Or is it that you want some kind of validation from people because you got this red Ferrari, that people look at you and say, oh, man, you're a successful person. You know, is that what you want? I don't know. Is it what's the purpose of having something like that?
See, like my mother told me, my grandfather, he worked in the steel mill. But every day he'll put on a 3-piece suit, have his attaché case with him, and walk to work. And people would swear up and down that he was rich.
Okay.
Just because of the image.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a dime to his name, and I was raised that way too. I've always wanted to look good.
Yeah.
And people automatically assume that, but they don't know. And just like you said, is that the kind of life you want to live? Or do you want something that's going to be able that you can pass down to your lineage for the rest of your life?
Sure.
You know, and that's what people don't look at. It's like we look at the glamour because that's what we see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we gravitate to that. We have these celebrities that have all these different toys and trinkets and whatnot, and we say, that's what I want. But see, when I saw the documentary on Dr. Buss, I didn't say that's what I wanted. I wanted what he started, which is how he bought the Lakers. That's something that's phenomenal because he's passing that down. He's no longer with us, but now his family is running it.
Yeah.
You know, And Magic is sitting there waiting for the family
Oh,
to
yeah,
sell it
sure,
so he can
yeah.
get it. You know,
Well, he bought a soccer team instead, right?
yeah, but he owns the Sparks.
Yeah, it's true.
And he owns the Dodgers.
Part of it, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, Dr. Bush took him under his wing and taught him everything he knows. The same thing with LeBron James speaking to Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
You got all these knowledgeable people, and all we really doing is piggybacking off what they done. We're not doing anything new.
Yeah.
You know, the wheel has been invented. You can't reinvent the wheel, but you can enhance it and make it better.
Sure.
But do we do that? No, we want what everybody else have, and then it doesn't satisfy. Steve Harvey tells it the best. You don't want what I have because I don't want it. It's just too much hell, but he's getting the recognition that he should have got a long time ago, you know, because he's embracing it. He's not getting caught up in all the nuances of being a celebrity. He's embracing it. So that's what I'm learning now, to embrace the moment and seize it.
Yeah. So when you're like mapping out your goals and like your financial goals, I mean, you're more direct. You're not just saying I want to make $50,000 a month, and that's going to allow me to cover my Ferrari lease payment and my lease payment on the mansion. I mean, you got actual clearly defined goals that that say this is what I want out of life, and it does. What's your dream, if you don't mind sharing it a little bit?
Well, see, with me now, the American dream is to buy a house, own a piece of land. That was the dream back a long time ago. But now, being in this business, I wouldn't want a house.
No.
I will make more money selling a house than buying a house and living in it for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, a home is a liability. A lot of people say your home is your best asset.
Exactly.
That's nonsense, because a house costs you money each month.
Exactly. I would rather be like Raymond Kroc. I own the land and lease the land and make money from the land.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Versus me owning the home and don't own the land and making 30 months of mortgage and still crying because it's not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
I might have equity in the house, but do I want to use that and take away my leverage, or do I want to turn around and do something else with it? So just like when you're doing, when you're buying homes, instead of you using your own asset, use other people's money.
Yeah.
That's how rich folks get rich. They don't use their own money. They use other people's money.
We pool it all together.
Exactly. You know, so I'm learning a whole lot. I done got into cryptocurrency and everything. I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency. It's like the people I associate with now done taught me a whole lot in this industry.
Yeah, it's just you put on you get a different mindset just being immersed in it, because everybody here, we talk about money freely. Like we talk about money like it's like your lunch.
Exactly.
Like this is what we do. We deal with money. We deal with assets and liabilities. This is a business culture that we have here. So it's always talking about how to do things better, how to make more money, how to provide more value, all kinds of stuff like that. Rather than, I don't know. I mean, you've probably seen plenty of sports stars and stuff. They just talk about the lifestyle of the rich and famous,
and they broke.
And they're broke.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look at Tyson, right?
Yes.
Mike Tyson was very, very wealthy. Well, had a lot of money anyway at one point, but gone. It's like, completely gone. He just spent it on dumb stuff.
Exactly. See, like with Bruce Norris, and one thing I use him as my benchmark, because he says money is the easiest thing to find, and people fail to realize that money is the easiest thing to find. You got to have a solid deal, but life is a deal. It's just not real estate. Life is a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you coming into real estate for the money, you might as well forget it, because you're coming in with the wrong attitude. You are here to provide a service, which means is that you're going out to try to help people stay in their homes, because those are assets to them. They've tried to follow the American dream. It's sentimental to them. This could be the home that their parents first bought, that they was raised in, that they bought, their children was raised in. So no one wants to lose that part of their life after they spent work as hard as possible, a job to get something, and then have it taken away from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can help them in any capacity, they become your billboard. They become your sponsors. They the one who will tell everybody just like that old Albertson commercial, just tell a friend.
Yeah.
They will actually help you become very successful in this business.
It's true. And that's you hit it right on the head, right? Provide value.
Exactly.
Because if you're not providing value, creating win-win situations, then you're not going to last very long.
True.
We see it we see a lot of these, I was talking about wholesalers earlier. We see them come in and, they're just interested in making their wholesale fee. And, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago on here where the seller ends up getting involved at some point in the transaction, and we get involved now. We're the end buyer. This wholesaler has kind of set the whole thing up. But we find out that the seller doesn't know exactly what the arrangement is, that we're going to be the buyer, and, there's all this confusion. Then, nobody seems to know how much the wholesaler is making, and that becomes a point of contention across the board. And it's, it creates these awkward situations. And those wholesalers, I don't see them ever again. They made their money, and they're now cut out.
Exactly.
They don't show back up because they had the wrong intention going in. So yeah, going from like the right mentality, right? You have the right mentality going into each one of these deals, and every day you wake up with like a purpose.
Yes.
Because you're driving towards your goal in life, and it's probably a weird thing, a weird feeling for people, and I don't really know. I can't relate because every day I wake up with the same kind of mentality, like we're doing something here. That's kind of my belief. Like I'm working towards a goal, and I can't imagine people every day that just wake up and go to a job. They do their thing and they go home and wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing every single day, and there's no purpose behind it.
Well, the one thing I do is that, I'm not so much a religious man, but I'm a believer. And the thing of it is that I give thanks because a lot of people don't wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that that's one reason why I do go to the gym, because it clears my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Gives me an opportunity just to get all the old stuff from yesterday, stuff that I might be facing today that I don't want to face. Oh, God, I got to do this today. I can face it now because my mind is much clearer, my body's much smoother. So it's easier now. I don't have to worry about making a schedule and missing an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot I was supposed to do it. No, because my schedule is much clearer now.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity to do a whole lot of things. Just like when I come up to the office, sometimes I come up there and just shoot the crap.
Yep.
Even though I do have a space there, but I'd rather not be there because I know if I'm there with you guys, I'm not going to get nothing done.
There's plenty of time. We got stuff to do too,
But the thing of it is that I look at it and I embrace the fact that I did wake up, and I give time to that, and then I can move on into my next day, my next assignment, and I don't take my assignments for granted.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it makes it much easier. Yeah, well, when I first started this, hey, I was getting into my 50s, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting old. I love being old. I'm not afraid of age anymore.
Yeah.
Because with age comes wisdom. But not only that, it was like, what am I going to do? I'm too old to go back to corporate America. Then I was on workers' comp, so I can't go back because nobody going to hire me because I've been off work for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I become a liability. So what can I do now? I'm too far in the ocean to swim back to shore, so I got to go to the other side and see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
So I have no choice. But now it's fun, and the enjoyment that I get out of it now is talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Encouraging them like we did last night at the club. That young lady that I was talking to, I was encouraging her because I was in the same position. Don't have any money, don't have this, how am I going to do this? I had to stop.
Yeah. Man, and I think that's like the big reason most people think they can't do it, because they don't like, people think that you have to have everything in order to do a real estate deal. You have to have the time, you have to have the money, you have to have the experience. You don't have to have any of those things.
Exactly.
You just have to have the ability to know 3 people that have one of those things.
Exactly.
And that's really, and I've told lots of people this, that a successful real estate investor is more like the conductor of the band. Just like, that's the violin player, that's the saxophone guy, that's the guitar, that's the drummer.
Exactly.
They do their thing. Like, I'm just up here making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. So, but you're not jumping in at any one moment and start playing the violin. If you're doing that, it's a failure in your system.
Exactly.
So, and I think you do a great job at it.
I appreciate that.
Actually, because, you might be talking to homeowners and things like that, but that's your role in the thing. Like, you do wear that hat. You're the talker. You're the negotiator. that's your role. It's a good spot for you because that's what you're good at.
Yes.
But you're not the contractor.
No.
I wouldn't call you up and be like, Thomas, hey man, I'm putting a new fence at my place this weekend. You want to come down and help?
That's not my thing.
No, I don't think I wouldn't even. You wouldn't even show up on my call list with that one.
I'll mess the whole thing up because I wouldn't want to do it, and two, I'll be too tired. I'm like, okay, let's hurry and get this over with.
Yeah.
It'll be all jacked up, So
well, just for the record, I wouldn't be the one anybody would call either. So yeah, I think I have tools, but I don't even know if they work. So. Just wearing different hats and getting good at like conducting and being a good leader. It seems to be the more valuable trait rather than these people that try to do everything themselves, and you're going to overwhelm yourself and flame out again, because if you're trying to do every single part of every single deal because you're kind of having that greedy mentality of I want to keep everything for myself, like this is my deal, I'm going to do every single part of it, and then I'm going to make the lion's share at the end.
Exactly.
It's kind of the wrong way to go into it in the beginning.
Definitely.
And I think that's why we built the club too. It's so we can collaborate with people. That there's all the resources you need to do deals are in that room. There's not a soul missing from that room that you would need to successfully complete a multitude of deals. I mean, last night we had a guy pitching $25 million commercial deals.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to get into that realm, there's enough people in that room last night that could make those deals happen too.
And then you had the young lady who was talking about the apartment complex, and she just sold a 24 unit.
Yeah.
So the thing is that we got to get out of that broke man slavery mentality, whatnot. My thing is that I thought I started this too late. Until this tax attorney told me, he said, don't you ever say that again.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, Colonel Sanders started KFC at 66 years old.
Dang.
Him and his wife selling chicken out the trunk of their car.
Really?
Wow, I didn't know that. So I stopped saying that. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, because I was looking at most folks, you guys are younger than me. Andy, he's older than me, but he's well established already. So I thought I came at the wrong time, but no, I came at the right time. This was my time, and now it shows.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some people, like Jim, who's been coming to the club. He might have been involved in real estate as an agent for a while, but he didn't start flipping until just 4 or 5 years ago. You know, so I mean, and he's he just had his birthday. I don't know if he wants me to say how old he is on the air, but yeah, he's He's close to your age,
Yeah, he's 2 years older than me.
Okay. Oh, gee, man. All right. Sorry,
I threw him
Jim.
under the bus.
Thomas said it, not me. Don't look at me. But yeah, I mean, it's age is irrelevant.
Exactly.
When it comes to this business, I actually, when I was doing loans back before, there was a guy who was just getting into it. It was his first deal. He was 63. It was his first deal. And, you swear from meeting the guy that this guy had been doing it for a long time. He was one of these really well-spoken guys.
Exactly.
And when he told me it was his first deal, I was actually blown away. I'm like, man, you fooled me. Like, you talked the talk really, really well. And he wasn't involved in real estate. He was involved in some other completely different business. That was what he'd done as his career. But retired, he wanted to put his retirement money into deals and whatever.
There you go.
He did it. I don't know. I was blown away. So... we only have 7-8 minutes left, so I think we should talk about the club a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think we're excited to announce that you're going to be hosting a new segment to the club, to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. For those people that are watching video, you see Thomas is wearing a Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club shirt, so you can't just get one of those. Actually, you can now, but Thomas earned it. All right, he didn't get it. He didn't have to pay for it like everybody else does. But Thomas is going to be running the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club.
That's true.
So, okay, I've been getting a lot of stuff, a lot of comments about it. Like, what's the point of having a black investment club? I mean, does it mean that you can't go if you're not black? I mean, what does this mean? So, I guess why don't you explain a little bit about what's the point of a black real estate investment club?
The whole thing was, and number one, you got to understand, this club was birthed out of Stephen and Todd. They brought this to my attention and said, hey, we would like to start this Black Real Estate Investment Club, and we would like for you to run it. And that's an honor for me. But the whole purpose of the club is to give minorities that think that they don't belong an opportunity to showcase their talents and give them a platform to work from. Because most of your clubs are all white, Most of your guest speakers are all white. So it's hard to see somebody that look like you, walk like you, and talk like you that's being successful in this business. We know that there are Latino, black guys that have money that they can lend out.
Yep.
You know, being a hard money lender, a private lender. We know that there's other ethnicities that have talent that they can showcase, but sometimes when they go to these clubs, they feel like they don't belong. So like at our clubs, we get less than a handful of black people, less a handful of minorities that come to the club, and when they do come, they don't stay. They come, they go, they come, they go, and you get a new set of folks. They come, they go, they come, they go. So this gives them the platform to be able to showcase and show the world that they do exist and that they have something to offer to the world as well.
Yeah, it's too bad, because I don't feel that we're exclusionary in any way, but
no,
I certainly,
not at all.
I certainly get the mentality of it being like a pale, male, stale environment, right? Where it's just this old club. It's been around for a long time. It's run by old rich white guys, right? I mean, I get the idea of it, and we've talked about ways we can make it seem more inviting. We try to post as many pictures as we can to show that we have a very diverse crowd that shows up to the club. It's actually not majority white. Actually, if you really look and survey the audience, it's probably more majority Hispanic that comes to the club. But that's also just kind of the normal demographics of California. We have more Latino people here than we do, white, black, Asian. It's just the way it actually breaks down, and not that race really plays any role in the real estate world, but everybody has different upbringings, and there's different ways that people think about things and different ways people see the world. And I see it from one particular set of eyes. Steve sees it from another way, but we were raised very similar.
Exactly.
So it's good to have somebody that was raised a different way to bring their perspective to the real estate investment world. And and you've kind of been like the the black liaison of the club at this point, and most of the time I see them kind of gravitate towards you because you've already been confirmed, you've already been made right in front of the audience. Like everybody says, okay, Thomas is obviously somebody that's been doing this a while. They everybody knows who you are that comes to the club, so they tend to gravitate towards you. It's only because you're black, right? I mean, that's it. There's no other reason. Because I would like to think I'm pretty open and talk to people, but they don't gravitate to me. So, I wish they would. But
see, like I said, when I first started coming, I was scared to come to you guys because I thought, because of what I've heard, that you guys wasn't approachable, which was untrue. But the same thing is that, it's easy to identify with somebody that's look like you, walk like you, and talk like you. So that's the whole purpose of this. Is not to signal anybody out. It's open to the masses, but it's just to be able to showcase different people from a different perspective, showing that, hey, we still can do this. We can do this. We doing it, and so forth and so on. And it's a beautiful thing because now you guys are the brother and I'm the sister of the club. So we're coinciding with each other. So it'll make it a beautiful thing. It'll make the club more diversified.
Absolutely. So when's the first meeting is going to be in October? Do we have a first date picked
17th.
Up? October 17th?
Yeah, so it's going to be every third Wednesday of the month, which is going to be a week before the big main club on the fourth Wednesday of the month. So that third Wednesday, the club, then you have the coffee, and then you have that next Wednesday, the big club.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll be it, October 17th. Locations to be determined. We're still
working on that right now.
But we'll get that, and then of course we'll put it all up on meetup.com to talk about to show it to everybody. So if anybody's interested in coming out and checking out the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, go to meetup.com and look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. You can also go to Google, type it in. I typed in all kinds of search results today. I typed in what I type in, invest in real estate or something like that, and we popped up as like fourth result down on Google. It's pretty surprising, but you can find us. We're pretty easy to find. We got a little over 4,000 members now as part of the club, and we just launched a new membership portal. So for those of you that are interested in becoming a member of the club, you can go on to iereic.org and click on the Become a Member tab, and you can check out the membership benefits there. It's $19 a month. It's nothing compared to the $30 a month it already costs to go to the main meeting. So you get to go to those for free. We'll figure out how it's all going to work. But thanks, Thomas, for coming on.
Thank you.
We will see you all again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Bye-bye.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.